Hello, my friend. Today I am thrilled to introduce you to Annie and Lucas, the husband and wife duo from Halifax, Nova Scotia, behind the smash hit game A Little to the Left. Now, speaking of, actually, there we go, perfect. Now, alongside their technical producer Daniel, they created a cozy organizing puzzle game that has sold over 2.5 million copies across every major platform. A crazy win for a story that starts with a 48-hour game jam. Now, what makes this story even more special isn't just the success, but it's how they got there. How their small prototype caught the attention of the Wholesome Direct, which absolutely exploded their inbox and led them to a partnership with Secret Mode, the publisher that helped bring their tidy little idea to every corner of the gaming world. And the charm and inspiration for this game, well, it came straight from their home, their shelves, their drawers, their curious cat that inspired many of the puzzles that you see in the game today. In this episode, you will hear the story on how they turned their weekend game jam into a full-time studio, why they chose to expand their world through DLC instead of chasing the next big thing, and how A Little to the Left became a viral favorite among streamers and TikTokers, which is perfect for developers who would rather focus on crafting as opposed to posting. And their story proves that sometimes the best marketing strategy is simply caring deeply about your craft and trusting that your authenticity will find its audience. Welcome to Freaking Cool Indies. Well, thank you so much, Lucas and Annie, for jumping on Freaking Cool Indies and talking to us about your little success. Little success, I'm not going to say. First off, congratulations on the huge success, I would say, of A Little to the Left. Over 2.5 million copies sold. You guys have been able to launch on multiple platforms, including mobile, again, PC, console, the whole thing across the board, as well as doubling down on DLC. So before we jump into anything, I do want to just, again, give you your flowers, because that is incredible to hear, just from a first-time developer team, a Canadian team, and again, I just wanted to start off with that, because it is not a small feat that you did, and just amazing job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been amazing. Like, it's exceeded our expectations many times over.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of have to pinch ourselves every day that we get to be doing this kind of work and full time, and that people like send us emails that are, that they're saying that they're fans. Like, that it makes our day, and we're so lucky. We feel so grateful.
That's awesome. So for the purpose of this episode, again, I feel like there's so many interesting facets of this game, and the ways that you both took it from prototyping and just kind of early on and all the way to where it currently is now. Again, there's 3 DLCs that's out for the game, many feature updates, and I kind of want to just walk through your story. I want to understand a little bit more from a business and marketing standpoint, and just kind of how A Little to the Left became a thing, right? I know the game itself actually started as a GMTK game jam game back in 2020. So maybe let's start there and talk about, the first 48 hours you created this game, and maybe at what point of the game jam did you realize, hey, this actually could be something bigger?
Well, I initially signed up for the jam to do it individually. And I had done some jams before, and this was my first time going into it like solo. And we got the theme. The theme was out of control, and talking with Annie about the theme, and uh, we came up with this concept that, what if we explored this idea of out of control through the lens of somebody who is being kind of stuck at home, very particular about their surroundings.
Yeah, Lucas signed up for the game jam on his own, but I quickly offered my skills because like it's a lot to do in 48 hours.
yeah,
So
absolutely. I
I
wouldn't have been able to do it.
I was like, let me help you with art. And just to clarify, neither of us were really like making games. Like we
Yeah,
had I had a freelance business in motion design and illustration, and you were doing web development.
yeah.
But
And I had done some like little hobbyist projects just to kind of learn Unity a little bit, but yeah, we were both coming at this just out of pure interest, and we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into.
But I remember standing in the kitchen being like, what if it's a person who is like really like feeling out of control? Like and they just want everything to be just so, and that makes them feel better. And this was during the pandemic. And so we were already like all stuck at home feeling a little nuts. And like we are the kind of people who it just brings us calm and satisfaction and like ease. Like when I'm nervous, I like to clean and like organize, and it's like it helps me think through problems to just do that. So I think we didn't realize how much that concept would resonate with people like at that time. It really was just like us following what we do and how we feel.
Yeah.
So
And so, we made the, game jam version of it. It was very rough. It was missing a lot of things. And we, really liked the concept, and we liked what we had presented there. So we spent a little bit of time revising it, refining it, and it kind of had a life up on itch.io. And we didn't really think much of it. We were just kind of, wanted to put our best foot forward, and we're just going to kind of leave it there. But it started.
I just want to say though, like it was so much fun to work on.
Yeah.
Like I went to bed that night, like the first night, I was so excited, like I couldn't sleep. Like I was just like, what could we call it? And I was like, oh, a little to the left. Like I loved that. Like actually the name was like way longer. It was a little to the left, further,
a little more, no, too far back a bit.
Right. So it's just
rolls right off the tongue, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, I like this, like extra, like just this extraness of it, and yeah. So like we had so much energy we've always had a lot of energy working together, like being creative, but this was the first time that it like I had like an art practice. Lucas would always like help me make like audio design for my own projects, but this was a truly collaborative moment. And I just want to emphasize that because I think that's like at the crux of why we decided to take a leap. I think because we had so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
We really liked working together on it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, it was public, and, it was a little bit of a vertical slice. There was 10 puzzles, most of which ended up making it in the final game. But people started posting, comments saying, oh, this was really fun. I'd love to see more. And it was kind of bubbling up on the front page of Itch. And we just kept on thinking about it. Like we just, everywhere we were looking, we're like, oh, that'd make such a fun puzzle, but we had our day jobs. And so we were just trying to kind of like, we're like, maybe someday we'll explore this more. But as we got more and more interest in it, we started to think, hey, maybe there's something here. And then when we saw a call for submissions for Wholesome Direct in 2021, we just sort of thought, okay, we've got a Wholesome game here. Let's give it a try and see if there was any interest. And they accepted us.
Yeah, I remember when Luke told me that we got in, I was in the garage and he came in and he's like, we got into this showcase. And I was like, what is that? Like, sorry, but I didn't reply to it. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And I am a little bit outside of like the game world, and I'm coming from a totally different background. But I was like so pumped, and I think I was like jumping up and down. I was like, yay! But also like, I was in my mind, like this game was just so small, and I was confused that anybody would like care about it. Really, like I know I cared about it, but I was like really shocked that.
And at this point, was the game still just the Itch version of the game? Did you expand it anymore, or was it still just kind of that initial, 10 puzzle vertical slice? Hey, this is what we're looking at.
That's all it was. We hadn't started to pursue anything larger than that, aside from saying, hey, maybe this would be something that might be interesting to Wholesome Games.
Yeah, I made a trailer for Wholesome, and it was every level of the puzzle.
We showed everything we had.
And then we got contacted by a bunch of publishers. Are we
Yeah,
that way?
yeah. There was some luck involved in that. Um, all the live events had been canceled because of the lockdown, and so everything went online. And just due to the fact that Wholesome Direct was the presentation that the Summer Game Fest, which had kind of stepped into the space of what E3 sort of was doing before, and still kind of carries that flag. Um, the opening kind of ceremonies went straight into Wholesome Direct, so there was a lot of viewership, much more than I think anybody would have anticipated. Um, and from that, we saw on social and through email and stuff that it had really kind of caught the eye of like an audience and also of publishers.
At this point, I'm guessing you had a Steam page up to kind of get wish lists at this point as well, or am I
Yes,
off on that?
yes, we did.
Okay.
We did. Yes. So, leading up to Wholesome Direct, we were like, okay, if this ends up becoming something, we should at least have some sort of cohesive entity. And so we had set up a Steam page. And did Max Inferno exist then? Or
No.
no. So yeah.
We didn't set up the company until we knew we were gonna like do this full time, and we had to have one to sign with the publisher. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we did have a Steam page, and I think Wholesome Direct did affect our wish list numbers quite a bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So there, aside from doing a little bit of sort of lead up social media marketing, which was mostly around at that time it was mostly on Twitter, and I'm trying to remember, Screenshot Saturday I think is what that was called.
Yep.
And so we're kind of participating in that a little bit, but it was hard to capture any attention. So the showcase really did bring the concept to a lot more people. Yeah,
That's amazing. And again, kind of just taking the step back here. So it's not that you guys won the GMTK Game Jam, or maybe you did. Please correct me, or
No.
you know what I mean. But okay, so you did not win it, but at the same time, that was enough of a spark for both of you to be like, hey, you know what? Like that was a ton of fun. And all I picture is, even just with the bookshelf behind you, things like that. Like you guys are just living your everyday life, and now all of a sudden everything just starts looking like a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, we could rearrange these books, or like Annie opens a drawer and it's just like, oh, I got to rearrange these utensils. You know what I mean? Like that. Am I correct in that assumption?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't know if we emphasized enough that a lot of the game was inspired by our home and our cat. We just like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We both went to art school, so I don't know if it's part of our like education to just look at what's around you for inspiration. But that just totally came naturally, and we have a lot of knickknacks and a lot of collecting. Like we like collecting things. So I get like inspired by objects. So yeah. Like I feel like there's as many puzzle opportunities as there are objects in the world. Really, just about being
cool.
creative with how you approach them.
And I'm guessing before any of this, and from the sounds of we were using Screenshot Saturday and things like that, but I'm guessing your preconceived notion and or knowledge of marketing was probably pretty minimal. Is that safe to say, Lucas and Annie?
Yeah, I would say so. I had always been interested in the video game industry, and had always, ever since I was a kid, thought that my dream job would be to make video games. So I was always curious about, how everything operated. But once we started actually doing it, it was quite different than I think sort of the idea was that I had in my mind. It I think really helped us that we were pursuing a concept that was kind of so close to our hearts, because it made it easy for us to understand how to frame the messaging around the game and the concept. It was pretty natural for us.
Yeah, I think it actually made a really interesting point of difference in our marketing because like we made all of our own trailers and it just made sense for the game concept to situate like to use our house as a kind of like backdrop or material in the advertising. So like yeah, we would use like shots of our own cat like messing with stuff in the house, or we had a lot of these shots where like you're actually welcome, like you're welcomed into our house as like as a metaphor like for being welcomed into the game. So the camera would fly into our house and like look around at the objects that we have, and it was a way of sharing how we were inspired by the game too. Like this is our home, this is where we work, this is how we're inspired, and you might see some of these objects in the game that you're going to play. And so it was really strong and it just came totally naturally.
Yeah. And our enthusiasm in the trailers was genuine. We were just really excited to have this opportunity to, be doing this and
we were
sharing it with people and stuff. So
those trailers, like we worked so hard on the like we would over and over and over again trying to get things just right. And like it's really hard when you're in the trailer yourself and you want to represent. Yeah. You don't want to be embarrassed by the way like you framing yourself. And we tried hard.
And then also transitioning between real footage and in-game footage was always tricky, but luckily Annie has a lot of skill along those lines. That really came in handy.
I've always been interested in like animation and just like motion tracking and illustration. And so this was like I had applied those skills for really different purposes, like either in my art practice, which is kind of like video or installation or animation, or I also had like I said, like a freelance practice where I was doing more commercial work. So I guess a little bit of marketing in terms of things like feeling snappy and like trying to have like a real eye for detail. Every pixel matters. I didn't know anything, sorry, about the gaming marketing. Like I've never heard the word embargo before, ever.
And for Annie, for what it is worth, if you were the one who kind of fully put it together, you absolutely nailed the trailer. So for our audience listening, I knew of A Little to the Left. I actually watched that direct of when it was it was live, and being at home and during the pandemic and everything else, and I remember vividly watching the direct. But you guys came back onto my radar of things when I had an episode with Derek Liu, who is the the LeBron James of game trailers. Like he has done so many amazing ones, and he actually shouted you guys out. He shouted your trailer out specifically about just like a masterclass of game trailer editing, because he did a fantastic job of where the mouse ends on one shot is where it starts on the next, and it's just like so soothing for the eyes, and you know what I mean, like and he was the one, and then that's when I actually reached out to the team. And Lucas, I think that's when you and I got connected, when I let you know that, hey, like just a heads up, like one of the best in the business just gave you a big kudos on that. So again, great job with the trailer.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm just really trying to have fun and do better with each one I do. Like I know, like the very first one I did was so rough and hilarious, but I'm proud of it. So.
And we've learned a lot from Derek Liu as well. Like he's one that as part of just being interested in general game marketing was from day one, paying attention to him. And Game Maker's Toolkit was another big one too, and that's what inspired the signing up for the jam. Yeah,
1,000%. GMTK has done more for indie games and video games than I think even he knows. Like, you know what I mean? The amount of people who have been inspired because of his videos and the knowledge of it and the game jams, the whole thing. It's phenomenal. And then same with Derek as well. Again, I know he has just an amazing resource. You can I joked on our episode where it's like, you can literally type anything to do with the game trailer, like any question you have, whatever it is, and then type Derek Liu at the end, and you will find a fantastic resource that has to do answering that exact question. So two absolute titans of the industry.
Oh yeah, I was.
And I guess, oh, sorry, Annie, please go,
Oh,
go,
I
go.
was just saying, I was so excited I got to meet Derek at GDC last or this year, and yeah,
Oh,
it
so
was the
cool.
coolest. I had been like, I was like totally gushing. Yeah,
Yeah.
like so excited to meet us. So it was like
Yeah,
very cool.
he's great.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I guess just for for the developers who are listening to this episode, is there any like one piece of advice that, maybe past or pre or like I have no idea what marketing is, Annie and Lucas, wish that you have now that you maybe somewhat know what you're doing? Even though marketing, no one really knows what they're doing, but
Exactly. Well, yeah, maybe that's kind of like the core takeaway was, I guess going into it had a little bit of a preconceived notion that there was a right path for marketing, but I've sort of seen successes come from all different directions. And ours was like, we know our path here. I don't assume that that's something that would, be recreatable. There's a lot of elements that come together, but I do think that our kind of um, focus of just trying to be kind of genuine and find those pieces that really get us excited as being the pieces that we wanted to communicate to others really did help us kind of cut through a little bit of what I don't want to say clutter, because I think there's a lot of amazing stuff happening out there that has a hard time kind of finding yeah, audience. It's but it did really help us kind of have a guiding light. um do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, it's a hard one. I feel like I was just making it up, and like I tried really hard, and I reshot things over and over and over again because I kept seeing things that could be better, and I think that iteration is just like you gotta follow, you gotta do that. Like
Hmm.
if you're just on your own, like I don't know, like you don't always have all the right equipment or the the eye even, but I think just um not giving up and like
Yeah.
I don't know. Then this is just coming from a perspective of like making assets and trailers. Like it's not really so much of a business strategy. Um, when we yeah. So I'm not really sure other than like don't like settle for
yeah.
like it's good enough. Like I think
Yeah.
just keep pushing something until you really feel like that's good
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
heart.
And
Yeah.
were you moving more from a data driven perspective, as in like, we put out video 1 and we put out video 2 and 3 and we kind of learn, okay, this one did better than that one, so let's double down on that? Or was it more so like the more I put out, the better I am at my craft, and the better I am at my craft, like, the more eyes I'm typically been getting? I don't know if that kind of.
Yeah. um there's maybe a little bit of both, I would say. um I think that what we sort of focused on doing with each trailer was try to communicate um one thing very clearly and kind of build on top of that. And then we started to realize that that people were interested in kind of certain content a little bit more than others, and that helped inform, like, okay, well, we should show more drawers, for example. So that only came a little bit later on, though. I think initially it was that we wanted to just kind of show how much, variety and uniqueness there was.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what specifically we're talking about, but like I know that I would get extreme validation, and for me success of a video was like, oh, Derek Liu reposted it, or like Derek Liu commented on it. Like
Right.
somebody who I respect, like
Yeah.
it and has that eye, like is seeing it, and like that meant so much to me. And I think like I remember just sitting, like when I had a new like trailer opportunity, I would sit down with a piece of paper and I would just try to like be like, what haven't I done yet? And like,
Mm,
what's like,
Cool.
what am I excited about? And what I'm excited about is trying something new and not just repeating myself. And so I personally wasn't so driven by data, but you might have like like you're always kind of keeping your eye on that kind of information, which is super useful. And I'm just like, I don't want to be bored. Like I want to keep pushing myself artistically.
Yeah, every time we made a trailer, we always tried to figure out something that I don't know if it's a gimmick, but something that we got really excited about that we're like, yeah, we haven't really seen this before in a video game trailer. Let's give it a try. And then often we kind of craft the rest around whatever that concept is.
Cool. And from more of a, let's call it social media standpoint, I know TikTok was really big for you guys, and was that the most important platform for you, or what platforms ended up being your main focus when it came to just continuous keeping the audience engaged and getting people continuously excited for what you're building?
I mean, I did do some like a lot of thinking about what a good TikTok video should be, and like reading about, like, Victoria Tran did a good article about TikTok advertising. But I really think at a certain point it wasn't us that was doing the work. It was an organic like thing, and streamers took over. And I think it was like there were streamers that have way more views than anything I put out. And I find TikTok videos really difficult to make. They're exhausting, to be honest. For me, like they're hard. So I dropped off from that, when things get really busy with production. But I think what makes the game very TikTokable is the short bite-sized puzzles, the people like wanting to have input. Like I guess that's what makes it streamable as well. It's just people yelling, being like, "No, I see a solution that you don't see before you see it," and then also the satisfaction of seeing a puzzle come together that you didn't see the initially.
The game has a very visual hook, so that communicates very quickly, and that I think really benefited us, especially with things like trailers and streamers. And there wasn't a whole lot of explanation that needs to be done as to what's happening.
There's no like setup. It's just in there. And that's what I like. There's no like story to have to like rationalize why you're doing this, except there is a world that I think does exist that you kind of get hints about as you play, but there's no setup.
You have all the information right from the get-go, and also the multiple solutions allows you to kind of play in parallel with other people that you're watching play, and that's both TikTok and say Twitch. And so I think that that's really benefited the game, and it also inspires people to say, hey, like, I want to try my own path in this game. I'm seeing things that the streamer or whoever is not seeing. So that really helped.
I don't know what, like, I'm not sure what advice there is for other developers, but like I know that streamers, I think some of them almost play the audience a little bit because they see it. They see them like they want
getting roused up and
engaged, which we never obviously designed or hoped for or thought of.
No, absolutely. And again, I think even just from like advice for other developers, but I think for this particular game, what makes it so special is that, like you said, it's like other people are going and creating videos about it. Like that's the ultimate flywheel that I think a developer wants to do, especially if you as a developer hate making the TikToks. If other people are taking that off the plate and doing it, but like if I was someone fresh coming in trying to, I don't know what type of game I want to make. Maybe I'm new to all of this, creating something that is smaller of a scope. But within 4 seconds of a trailer, I know exactly what I need to do or I need to play. I think that's a really great way, especially in the modern social media world, where you can put up a 15-second TikTok and anyone can be like, oh, that is awesome. Like, I see it right away, that puzzle, and like, I want to explore this more.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of like how, a lot of pop music now starts with the hook. Like, it starts with the chorus or whatever.
Yeah, for better for worse, I feel like within 2 seconds you kind of need to have like have that figured out what that 2 seconds are going to be at the beginning of your TikTok, unless you're trying to do something completely new and different, and maybe that's already say to like try to hook someone that quickly. Like now I'm almost wondering if like slow is like the new surprise on that kind of platform.
Yeah, but with that said, I think there is often an inclination to want to have a little bit of a slow roll with trailers and let things unfold and, kind of hold back the secrets and try to like pique interest that way. But there is certainly something to be said for, early on, just trying to communicate really quickly and get to the point. Attention is a very difficult commodity to try to tap into.
Well,
so
it's about valuing people's time and
exactly.
just, I don't know, just making it the appropriate amount of time for what it needs to be. I don't want to manipulate anybody's attention. I don't want to be predatory with their time. Like that's not our style. But I do want to like cut out fluff.
Absolutely. All right. So continuing on our epic journey quest. So we have started with the Jam. We've moved to itch.io. We got accepted into the Wholesome Direct. Everything exploded. From there, that's when, again, trailers, more TikToks, everything kind of started bubbling up. And again, I think you were saying after the Wholesome Direct, now we have the eyes of the publishers. And that's when you guys started getting reached out to different partners, things along that line. So you ended up going with Secret Mode as your publisher for this game. Was there anything specific? And again, I know you can't obviously take us too far behind the curtain, but was there anything specific about Secret Mode or kind of how or why did you end up with them? And then also, what did that relationship look like? What are the kind of things that they helped you guys with or maybe just helped to bring to light or teach you or just kind of that whole side of this whole thing?
Secret Mode was also quite new as well. So I think at the time that we started talking to them, they hadn't released any games yet, but they did have some games kind of in the portfolio that were ready to be launched kind of soon after. When we started those conversations, it was very clear to us that the folks who had set it up had quite a bit of experience with publishing, had been around for quite a while, and they were very helpful in kind of us getting comfortable with having these sorts of conversations with publishers. We were very green.
Yeah, they were wonderful, to be honest. Like, they, first of all, they weren't just like, we want your game. Like, they were like, they had suggestions for how to make it better. And that was really useful, and we could imagine it being like a productive relationship. We had zero predatory vibes from them as like a publisher, which was great. They seemed like they had their hearts in the right place. And we when it came to like negotiating, like I think we got what we wanted. So that was another just factor.
So we did talk to multiple publishers and we fielded offers from some of them, and that helped us kind of gauge where our game is situated and perhaps how to continue negotiations. Secret Mode was offering us support with marketing, of course, some development fee. It was a small game, so that wasn't anything particularly large in scope, but it was very helpful. And then QA, localization, and channels to the platforms. So there was a little bit of growth on both sides of the equation, which I think was kind of a nice balance for us. So they were new, so they were also developing relationships with these various partners as we were developing, a name for ourselves as Max Inferno. And so to kind of go on that journey together, I think was really quite wonderful and has been, I think a very beneficial thing for both sides. Um, yeah, and ultimately they just seemed to really get the game. They were genuinely interested in the concept and enjoyed it themselves, and they gave us room to have full creative reign where they were, they had some suggestions on, some of the more marketable aspects of it, of, if you kind of think about this, perhaps, it could be beneficial. And so, we could take that or leave that if we felt like if it fit or not. Um, but the conversations were good because they were coming from a place of having, in prior, their prior expertise in shipping games, and we respected that.
That's awesome. And was the plan from the beginning to, hey, like we see this success here and we want to bring it to mobile, we want to bring it to console, we want to do that. Was that a plan from the beginning, or did that just more so naturally happen as the game continued to progress and continued to grow from an audience standpoint?
Yeah.
It was a plan of ours. We
Cool.
like we had no idea the success of the game, but we did,
Yeah.
for some reason, think that we wanted to bring it to all of those platforms right from the beginning. I don't know if that's maybe us being a little green, but
Yeah.
to be honest, like we did have hopes of bringing it. Like it started. I think you initially prototyped it on an iPad, like
Hmm.
even before it was on itch. So it always had that kind of root.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we thought it would make a great. Well, I don't know. There's a like when we were working on it, we kind of forgot about mobile for a while, but after the success, we were like, oh yeah, this would be so fitting for mobile.
Yeah,
So
and we targeted Steam and Switch as our primary platforms, because the Switch has a built-in cozy audience. It has the touch screen, which the game is very tactile, so it fits there well. And then on Steam, it just really aligns with our development process, and it's really easy to release games on Steam, really easy to communicate with your audience and build a community. So that made sense to us. And then when it came to um, Xbox and PlayStation, we had the success on those platforms that we could leverage in our conversations with them. For example, that ended up starting conversations around Game Pass with Xbox, which was a great way to reach a very large audience. So that had some knock-on effects with the pre-existing versions. Um, but where it came to mobile, it was a little bit of a tricky approach, just because the expectation is very different on mobile. Lower price points. There are technical limitations. Um, so the game already, we had touch built into it from the Switch. We had added touch for Game Pass as well. So for when streaming to handheld devices through I can't XCloud, I think that's called. So we supported it there too. So that stuff was already in there. The considerations were more about how do we deal with the small screen, and um, is it a lower price point? How do you handle DLC stuff like that? So it took us a little bit of time to figure that out. But the game really plays well on mobile. It feels very natural. So we're very happy that we did end up pursuing that.
We have so much to thank for Daniel Crane, our technical lead, for
Yeah.
spearheading like the research and development on mobile. Like he's
And on the Microsoft platform.
Yeah.
So he handled, well, he did the Switch port as well, and also porting it over to Xbox and the Windows Store, and getting it set up for Game Pass with all the services, and that's
amazing. And I can confirm the mobile version is very good. I've that in preparation for the episode, everything else, I bought it on mobile, and I've been so addicted. And the daily tidies have just also, it fits perfectly into the mobile realm of things, right?
Yeah.
Like basically every mobile game has some form of daily come back and check it and everything else, and it's a great way of just like, I see the little notification now in the morning, and it's like, yes, I do want to go tidy something up and while I'm eating my breakfast.
Yeah.
That's what we do every morning. We do our well, like not daily tidy, but we were inspired to do the daily tidy because we were doing Wordle every morning during that time, and now we're doing crosswords. But yeah, it's kind of nice. So nice ritual.
Yeah.
Check in like a
low awesome
commitment way.
Yeah. And now, okay, so game is out. Amazing success once again. Congratulations to both of you, or I guess the three of you. Daniel, you're also get success too. So the game is out, it's doing all that, and now now the decision for DLC. So this is something where I wanted to talk with you both, because again, I feel like a lot of developers, especially those who find success really quickly, the first thing is, okay, now I got this out, now I need to go make my new game. And it sounds like the both of you didn't, well, I know for a fact that you didn't go that route, but instead it's kind of like, let's double down on what we've already built, right? Let's go the route of premium DLC. Let's build new puzzles. Let's build new things within this same game. So can you talk to me a little bit more about that decision, and why not a sequel, why not a different game entirely, and maybe like how has that DLC side of this business been for you?
Yeah.
I mean, we just had so many ideas that just like felt like we were just getting going by the time the game came out, and we were kind of like, it was funny. It was like people were having their first experiences with it, and we were like, no, we're on to the next thing. And for us, the DLC, because we just like wanted to make more puzzles, and we didn't want to think about a whole like context shift. We just had more puzzle ideas we wanted to bring, and we didn't want to like completely rethink the like the paradigm of what the as like for a sequel. But we I don't know, we just like, it feels infinite. Like it feels, there's so much, and the more you do, the more you see to do. And we have like these verbs, which are like the mechanics like in the game, and they're like really simple to start. In the base game, you just have like dragging and dropping, or rotating, or panning, and then you start to think about how you can combine them in different ways. And we had in the DLC, we're like, oh, now you can open drawers and cupboards, and you can have things nesting more, and then in Seeing Stars, it's like playing like, how far can we push multiple solutions? Like we were just having fun, and it was like a little to left offered us this playground, this really open playground that we could combine things in different ways and have a lot of fun doing it. So it's just what we wanted to do. We didn't.
Yeah.
And we knew people wanted it, so that was encouraging too.
Yeah, and so we decided to do cupboards and drawers, the first DLC, because the drawer levels had been so popular on places like TikTok, and we had gotten a lot of good feedback on those, and we really enjoyed making those puzzles. And so we're like, you know what, like we can really dig into this. Now, we didn't want to flesh it out into a full sequel and have we wanted to do something a little bit faster, and it actually wasn't until we released cupboards and drawers that the popularity of the game really took off. And I think that that's fairly rare for a DLC to kind of be the real inflection point for a game. But I think that the concept, which we had only started to really explore in the main game, we tried a lot of different puzzle mechanics.
There's so many different types of puzzles in
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
And then we just were like, let's focus on this type and play with it more. And
Yeah.
it's just a focused way of iterating on and researching our own ideas.
Yeah, so we just wanted to be focused, I think, on what each
Cool.
DLC was exploring, and it was a little less risky to have this platform of a little to the left that allowed us to explore these ideas and kind of refine our puzzle making skills and push the art style a little bit and see how far we can go with drawers and that sort of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do either of you have a favorite puzzle?
I really like there's a puzzle in DLC 2 that's called the multiple drawer. I guess it's called multiple solution drawer. It's like
Okay.
It's really not a very good name. And they're not in the game, but that's just what we on our end call it. But it's a drawer puzzle, and then like I'm just really proud of it because typically a drawer puzzle only has one lockup for all of the objects because it's all about fitting them in really specific spots. But like I just got this idea that if the objects could transform in their shape, like if they unfold or if they rotate open like a pair of scissors or if they're like a X-Acto blade that comes up, then they're a different shape and they can occupy a different like compartment. And so it was just a really cool puzzle to figure out for me, that like if this one transforms, then it has to go over here, and that means that the one that was in there has to go in a different spot, and then that one there that has to go in a different spot. So there's two like unique lockups for that puzzle, and I was just like so excited.
That's awesome.
And then I really like the first aid kit in DLC 2 as well. I just really like the way it feels and looks. So there's ginger in there and garlic, which I think is funny, and like a little Hershey kiss, or a no-name Hershey kiss.
Yeah.
Things that like are a funny idea to have in your like that you need for health or first aid. Yeah.
I'm not sure if you need to like bleep out Hershey or something.
We'll be fine. I'll give you a call if the lawyers ring me up, but I think we should be fine.
Yeah, I like a lot of puzzles for different reasons. One that I have a soft spot for is the fruit stickers puzzle in the main game. That's the one where you're rotating the fruit and peeling the stickers off. There was something magical about that moment of, it's a very relatable thing. The fruit is, fun and kind of visually delightful, but for there to be that little secret of once you start trying to interact with the objects, you're revealing the stickers on the opposite side, and it's got this kind of 2D, 3D, like kind of strange effect going on. That was really fun.
I like that one too because it's funny, like it's so mundane to be like, this is a puzzle.
Yeah.
You're peeling fruit stickers off of fruit. Like it's more of like a strange some like task that you do when you're not thinking rather than a puzzle. But I like that. Like I think when we first conceptualized A Little to the Left, we weren't thinking of it as a puzzle game at all. Like it was just things you do.
Yeah.
And it was very open, and that's I think why that puzzles or that level's there. It's just like, what do you do when you're like, what's this feeling?
Yeah,
and it's like like annoyance to want them. Like people find that relatable. Somehow.
Yeah, and peeling them off is very satisfying, and yeah.
1,000 even before we started, I'm trying to find it here. Before we started this podcast, I was peeling something off of my door, and again, it's that same feeling of like I need to get this damn thing off.
Yeah, I like that the game notices those little moments in life.
That's amazing. And again, I like you said, we've already talked about it before. I just picture both of you like just living your existence, and just like stopping at random points and be like, I got another puzzle.
The other day, I was like, I have a picture of this ATM, and you were like, don't take a picture of that. There's a security guard right there. And I was like, oh,
just doing these illegal deeds in the name of a puzzle. Yeah.
Oh yeah. My phone is really random pictures.
Yeah, I could only imagine. All right, guys. So I guess like any final pieces of advice for developers out there? Again, it doesn't need to be about the marketing side, but just from this journey that you've both grown substantially from. Any pieces of advice for people who are trying to get their foot into this industry, trying to make something that resonates with people. Just any words of wisdom from two of the best that's out there.
We've sort of talked about it before, but I think trying to put kind of your own uniqueness and kind of strangeness into your game is a good thing. I think that is a point of difference that only you can have. I think it comes from often a very genuine place, and I think that it is what kind of lends to this feeling of heart in a game, and it's a very difficult thing to define. A little to the left is not the most polished of games, but it did come from a place that was very genuine to us, and we just had fun making it. I think that is maybe the bottom line, is that us having fun as the creators communicates the same to the players. At least, I hope so.
I think as that's the power that indie developers have. You don't have maybe you don't have the biggest budget or all the skills, but you have the power of your voice. So if you can, I don't know. I really like the author George Saunders. He talks about he's trying to write as this other author for a long time because he really admired him, but he found that actually he's like a quirky, hilarious writer just when he just is himself. So he just leaned into what he knows, and I think that gives you energy because it's a hard marathon. You have to have energy. So if you can find a way to keep going, for us, that's leaning into our voice, knowing what we like, and following the heat is another expression. If it gets you excited, then that there's something there. Try that out. So I don't know if that's gonna lead to a financial success, but it's gonna lead to you enjoying your work and making something. So that's a good start.
Yeah. Absolutely. And when it comes to something that takes as much effort and time as making a game, finding that love and finding that within those smaller tasks, and it's man, I really don't want to do this today, but those are the things that really help you get through it all, I'm sure.
And then the other thing that got us through the hard times when we were overwhelmed was we just told each other, you just have to take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
And that really just got us through. And it wasn't all easy. It was the hardest thing we've ever done in our whole lives. And clearly we've done a lot of things, but it was hard, and but also the best ever. Yeah. So,
that is absolutely, and that goes for so many different things. I actually myself, I've ran a physical marathon, and even with everything else, and with that, it is one foot in front of the other, one day at a time. When I did do the marathon, it was 42 kilometers, and I did not think about anything past the current kilometer I am on, right? And every kilometer checkpoint, you just tap yourself on the shoulder. Okay, kilometer 2, let's get to kilometer 3. Kilometer 31, let's get to and it was just, that's the only way I was able to get through it, but I did. And again, if on kilometer 3 I'm thinking about, hey, I still got 39 more of these to do, I think I would have just stopped right there. Call it a day.
Yeah. Your body's going to try to find all sorts of reasons. Your brain's going to try to find all sorts of reasons to stop you from doing something that's hard.
Yeah.
So we're lucky that we didn't know everything that was involved in. We're gonna make a game.
Yeah,
1,000%.
And I do think the format of the game helped us too, and that we were able to just kind of see. We had all these little successes with each puzzle. It was this a little invigorating boost of being we made this thing come to life. And
so if your scope can be manageable and scaled to your means, that will help you a lot.
And share it with people too. Getting input and enthusiasm from sharing your game is so important.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Well, Lucas, Annie, to wrap up all of our episodes, the one thing that I like to do is to continue paying forward the indie game world, and again, continuing to shout out people who are trying to get discovered out there. So I wanted to pose the question to both of you: if there are any indie games, any indie studios that you're currently either following or playing or loving that you want to kind of shout out from the rooftop and give some love to.
Yeah.
That's an awesome thing.
Yeah, I love that. So we're going to shout out Studio Folly. They're located in Melbourne, and we love their games. Gubbins is on mobile. Real Bird, Fake Bird is a fun little one to play each day. Also on mobile, it's free website.
They also have amazing like marketing. Like they're so funny.
Yeah.
And, they're way smarter than I am. Like when it comes to like clever, just marketing. So I really admire them. And we got to meet Jessica Shepard at GDC, and she's lovely.
Yeah, and so their games are just really focused, simple game mechanics that are nicely explored, and really wonderful visual art styles.
Yeah.
Very kind of illustration forward, and we just love what they're doing.
That's awesome. That is amazing. I would definitely check it out. I'll put everything in the links below, so for anyone who does want to check out their work as well, please just go check the description of the episode, link below wherever it is there, and you'll find all those links, as well as all of the links to Lucas and Annie and Max Inferno. But where can the people find you both if they want to connect, if they want to find your work? Where's the best case or best place, I should say, for people to go to find you guys?
We're like, our handle for everything is just Max Inferno
Games.
Max Inferno Games. Our website's maxinferno.games.com. Okay, yeah, maxinferno.com. A while. Sorry.
Don't worry. Again, all of those are also going to be there too.
Great. Yeah. So we're on Blue Sky. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram.
LinkedIn.
YouTube. And then, maxinferno.com is your place that, you can get all the store links. You can find us on, find A Little to the Left on Steam for Mac and PC, and, works on Linux too. We're on Nintendo Switch, Xbox, no longer on Game Pass, but it is on Xbox, Windows Game Store, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and iOS and Android.
Awesome. Yeah, basically anywhere that has a screen.
Yeah.
A Little to the Left board game coming soon. It's you've heard it here first, okay, guys?
You have a vinyl. You should check it out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's wicked.
Composer.
That I did not know, and I will definitely check that out. I love video game vinyl, so I will absolutely check that out.
It's a really cool like case where you can it has a bunch of die cut holes. It's like a drawer, and you can slide out the sleeve and you can flip it around to be like the messy side or the clean, tidy side. And the music is amazing. It's all by our friend Justin Karras, amazing composer. And Paul Hammond, who does our key art. He did the vinyl design, and it's with I Am 8-Bit is selling it.
He won a design award for that, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very cool.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Well, again, Lucas, Annie, thank you both for your time, sharing your story, and again, congratulations to both of you on the current success of A Little to the Left, the DLCs, and also for everything that is going to be coming. I can't wait to see what is next for both of you and the team as Max Inferno continues to grow. And again, thank you very much for taking time, joining Freaking Cool Indies, and I don't have a gavel yet, but you are both officially Freaking Cool Indies. Again, it is in the seal, it is in the history books, if you will. So again, thank you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for all that you do to support indies, and thanks for supporting us.
Yeah, it's wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and to our amazing listeners out there, keep creating, keep being awesome, and we will see you on next week's episode. Bye now.